don't know if you can hear that, but there it is again. I'm always anticipating the man jumping on my ceiling. Becomes like the beat of my own brain, and I don't really want it to end up like that. Somebody else's banging on my ceiling becoming the metronome of my thought. It's an invasion of privacy. It's an invasion of sonic space, and I don't really like it. So I've fantasised about what to do to the man jumping on the ceiling. More times than I'd like to admit. But in all the imagined scenarios, I can't say that he doesn't deserve what he gets. It's quiet now. Makes me feel a bit nervous when it's quiet, because I know that in the next second or two, when I least expect it, or when my hope just starts to rise and I just start to feel, well, maybe I'm gonna have a nice day, a peaceful and quiet day, without thinking about my neighbour's feet bouncing on the floor. And then when I just thought it's getting better, bang, bang, bang all over again. Well, what am I supposed to do with that? What kind of law enforcement exists for this kind of crime? There isn't really such a thing, is there? What tribunal do I take him to? Who is going to hear my plea for justice? Nobody. There's just me in the echo chamber of my flat, with nobody to complain to. And that's kind of how our society is spoilt nowadays. We have learned that there's always a complaints process, and when there isn't a complaints process, I don't know where to vent, I don't know where to turn to. And I suppose that's what vlogging is for, when there's no complaints process, due complaints process to go through. Then you've just got to kind of vent to fellow humanity and hope that on social media you'll find somebody who suffers the same problems. I've lost my sense of humour, frankly. Like, I used to find it funny. I used to laugh at myself for finding it so frustrating, but something's snapped over the last few days. Something that makes it a bit hard to control how I feel, what I'll do. What little irritation will be the thing to tip me over the edge? It's hard to say, really. I don't really know myself that well anymore. This is how the intrusion into the sonic atmosphere can implicate itself into the character of a human being and change them from inside out, or under the skin, if you will. So the man on my ceiling, he's changed my life without knowing it. He's only trying to change his own life by adopting a healthy lifestyle. It's understandable. I tried to be open to, the empathy thing a while ago, but that's just melted away into the abyss. All I'm left with now is a kind of rage, a quiet, neighbourly rage that one human feels to another, that kind of connects them to their primordial desire to annihilate fellow man. Or maybe that's not so primordial. Maybe that's something much more socially sophisticated and recent. But this man on my ceiling has caused lines to appear on my face that I don't remember being there a few months ago. He's imprinted marks on my face. But deepest of all, on my soul, Where do you take this next? What do you do? Who do you talk to? Who do you turn to? A person can't hold these feelings inside for long without it leaking out and affecting somebody in some way or other. You wonder why people on the tube are angry all the time. It's because they've got some lunatic on their ceiling hopping about for hours, trying to adopt a healthy lifestyle. Oh, I'm sorry, but you can't gain health at the expense of somebody else's sanity. I'm sorry, but where do you think you sit ethically in that regard? There he is again. Sometimes I fantasise that he'll do a Rumpelstiltskin and just fall through the floor, fall through my floor, fall through the next floor below me, and just keep falling into the centre of the earth. Oh, gives me a tingly sort of happiness to see that fantasy play out. So my point is, yes, it's lovely to be dry, to be warm, to be sitting under your own roof, to be contemplating life, getting on with your daily chores. And I know I should be grateful, but the fact is, a house is a bit like a skin. It's a bit like a second skin. And right now, somebody is bruising that skin. Somebody's trying to penetrate my nerves. Somebody's trying to rub against my patience. And what to do with that, I'm not sure. And the problem, as I've said earlier, is not so much that I'm a sort of ticking time bomb. Yes, of course, that's a bit concerning. It's a bit concerning to myself. But the problem is I don't know what I'll do next. It's as if the man upstairs jumping on the ceiling has taken my psyche, given it a rattle, just to see what will come out. So, maybe I'll have something to thank him for. You know, maybe it's like somebody who has that film about that man who gets brain damaged in an accident and actually turns out to be a better man. Maybe the way this will change my psyche will be for the better, but somehow I don't think so, no. Somehow I don't. Somehow I doubt that eventuality. No, this sort of noise, monotonous, repeating, stopping, starting, grinding at your thoughts. That sort of sound is built to harden a woman, to harden her, to make her bitter, cynical, but worse than that, on edge, teetering. Who knows what will become of me in the next second or two? Whether I'll have something to thank him for or not. Who knows who I'll be after the man on my ceiling stops jumping on my head.